her friend whom she's trying to introduce her to Islam. She read the Quran and she said, why does Allah call Himself the Beneficent, the Most Merciful? Why? I guess if I ask any child, he will know the answer. Why? Because we live on this earth because of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala treats us according to our deeds, which are mainly or mostly bad, then we don't deserve to live. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to seize us by our sins, then none of us would walk on earth. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Ar-Rahman, it is an extensive form. Ar-Rahim, that's another extensive form. In the Arabic language, in the subject of as-sarf, this scale is different than this scale, even though both are extensive forms. So Ar-Rahman is interpreted in English as the beneficent because this kind of mercy covers the believers and non-believers. Imagine. If you have a maid or if you are a company owner and you find out that your employee posted something bad on his Facebook account or shot a video about you to discredit you, are you going to keep him still in your company? Are you going to continue paying his salary? Obviously not. You're going to kick them out. If you catch your maid stealing once and twice and 3 times, are you still going to keep her in your household? Of course not. Imagine Allah has the greatest example. All of us are sinners. Even the believers are committing sins day and night. Let alone the disbelievers who describe and attribute to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a son and a wife, or those who worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the extent that there are people who worship rats. There are people who carve stones and worship stones. There are people who worship human beings like them, who go to the bathroom like them, and so on. That's why the hadith says, sister, لا أحد أصبر على أذى سمعه من الله. No one is ever more patient than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the annoying statements have been always repeated by the non-believers that God has a son. How can God have a son? Or there are more than one God. So He is the beneficent. He's providing despite the fact that these guys are awful and don't deserve to live. If it was human beings dealing with human beings, we will have no mercy whatsoever towards each other. Because those who offend us, we're not going to have mercy on them. If we let them go and pardon them, then at least we're not going to provide for them or sustain for them. But Allah still provides for them and gives them respite. While Ar-Rahim is an extensive form on the scale of Fa'il. And this trait is exclusively preserved for the believers. كَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. Rahima. Because on the Day of Judgment, only the believers will be still eligible for Allah's mercy. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has divided His mercy into 100 portions. He sent down on our earth planet only 1%, 1 portion. Out of this 1%, you see the wild beasts treat their babies with mercy. They do not devour them. They recognize that it's my baby. A lion does not devour its baby. An elephant does not step on its baby because of this 1 portion. Because of this 1 portion, Allah lets the disbelievers eat and drink, and He gives Al-Walid ibn Mughira 10 sons, and He gives Abu Jahl that much wealth, etc. These priests and rabbis who keep insulting Allah day and night in the media, the 700 Club, blah, 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 Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still give them shifa, feeds them, give them wealth, and let them live because of this 1%. Then once they die, they're not eligible for any mercy afterward, because there is reckoning and accountability. Then we will be moved to the next segment, which has begun always from the beginning, but it is continuous only with the believers, which is Ar-Rahim. According to Fa'il, His mercy is extended to only the believers. Through this mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept the intercession of the great intercessor Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. then the prophets, then the angels, then the righteous ones, to take some of the believers who were sinners out of fire and take them to heaven, pardon some, and without even reckoning, send them to heaven, and so on, because of this kind of mercy, Ar-Rahim. Don't you think that He is indeed the most merciful? Of course, indeed, He is the beneficent, the most merciful. He is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Barakallahu feek.